Breaking the Alien Code, a linguistic quest for untold secrets. For centuries, humanity has looked to the stars, wondering if we are alone in the universe. Every telescope we've built, every message we've sent, every radio signal echoing into the void has carried one silent hope, that somewhere out there, someone might be listening. We have dreamed of contact. We have imagined it in countless stories, in myths, in science fiction, in every language we speak. But what if the answer isn't a signal we can easily recognize? What if it isn't a word, a voice, or a picture? What if the answer has already arrived, hidden inside a code, so complex, so alien, that it has been surrounding us all along, waiting for us to understand it? This is not just a story about science, it's a story about communication, meaning, and the very limits of what it means to be intelligent. It's about our greatest question, and the terrifying possibility that the universe might already be speaking back. The cosmic Rosetta Stone. To understand how we might one day decipher an alien message, we first have to understand how we learned to decipher ourselves. Thousands of years ago, ancient civilizations left behind symbols carved in stone, messages written in scripts that no one alive could read. The walls of temples, the surfaces of tombs, they were covered with words that looked familiar and foreign at the same time. For centuries, those messages remained silent. Then came the discovery that changed everything: the Rosetta Stone. It carried the same text in 3 different scripts: Greek, Demotic, and hieroglyphic. For the first time, humanity could compare the unknown with the known, and slowly, line by line, we began to hear the voices of the ancient Egyptians again. That discovery wasn't just about translation. It was about context. Without context, language is meaningless. It's just sound, shape, or noise. Now imagine facing a message with no shared history, no alphabet, no spoken sound. A message created by beings who might not even see or hear the way we do. A civilization that experiences time differently, or perceives reality in extra dimensions we can't comprehend. How do you begin to translate something when you don't even know what a word looks like to them? Human history is filled with examples of linguistic puzzles: Linear A, the Voynich manuscript, the Maya glyphs. Even with centuries of study, some still resist decoding, and that's within our own species. If it's this hard to understand each other, what happens when we try to understand something not of this earth? The truth is, an alien message might not resemble anything we'd recognize as language. It could come in electromagnetic pulses, in sequences of light, in patterns of atomic behavior. It could be mathematical, musical, or entirely abstract. To read it, we'd need to find our own version of a cosmic Rosetta Stone, something that bridges 2 minds separated by biology, evolution, and time. But that bridge might not be found in words. It might be built in patterns. First contact, the signal arrives. It starts quietly, a night like any other at a deep space radio observatory. Scientists scan the sky, listening to frequencies beyond human hearing. Hours of static. Then one tiny anomaly. A pulse. Then silence. Another pulse. The same interval. The same strength. It repeats. At first, no one believes it. It's probably interference, maybe a satellite, maybe a glitch. But then the signal repeats again, perfectly timed, perfectly measured, and then again. Minutes turn to hours. The scientists run every test possible. They check for atmospheric distortion, cosmic radiation, reflections, but nothing explains it. The signal is clean, consistent, deliberate. Someone finally says it out loud: "This isn't natural." And in that instant, everything changes. The message comes from a nearby star system, just 12 light years away. The world's largest observatories confirm it. Suddenly, what began as a faint pulse becomes the most important discovery in human history. For the first time, we have proof that we're not alone. Governments are informed. Networks light up with speculation. Religious leaders call for calm. Scientists beg for silence, to study before the noise of public fear takes over. Weeks pass, and the signal continues. Patterns appear. Repetitions, pauses, what looks like structure. Binary sequences, ratios, mathematical harmonics. But then something impossible happens. The signal changes, just slightly. Enough to suggest that it's not a recording. It's dynamic. It's reacting, almost as if it knows it's being watched. Some call it coincidence. Others call it the beginning of a conversation. The team names it the Sentinel. But no one can explain one final, haunting fact. Embedded in the transmission is a pattern that mirrors our own planetary rotation. Whoever sent this message, they already knew we were here. Linguistic breakthroughs, cracking the code. At first, the approach is mathematical. Numbers are universal, or so we think. Prime sequences, atomic constants, geometry. The first step is to confirm that the signal follows logic. It does. Then to find layers. It has them. Like sentences, like syntax. The deeper scientists dig, the stranger it becomes. Each repetition of the signal seems to encode variation, as if it's not just information, but instruction. The code teaches itself. Every time we replay it, it subtly adapts, as though it's aware of our analysis. Artificial intelligence becomes essential. Quantum processors run millions of parallel translations, searching for meaning. Algorithms trained on every human language, every animal communication system, and even DNA patterns start finding faint correspondences. It's as if the code was designed to evolve with the listener, to reshape itself as we understand more. And then, something extraordinary happens. The AI begins to predict the next line of the signal before it's received. The code is following a rhythm, one that seems almost emotional. Could emotion itself be a universal constant? Could mathematics carry feeling, tone, or intention? The line between logic and consciousness begins to blur. Maybe language isn't about symbols at all. Maybe it's about recognition. Maybe the code is designed to make us see the world through someone else's logic. What if communication isn't about sharing words, but sharing perspective? For the first time, scientists stop asking, "What does it mean?" and start asking, "Why was it sent?" And the possible answers shake the foundations of everything we know. Beyond syntax, the meaning problem. Even if we decode the structure, meaning remains a mystery. Language without context is a mirror without reflection. When we say life, what do we mean? Biology, consciousness, energy? For another species, life might not be something that breathes. It might be something that oscillates, pulses, or thinks in frequencies. Every human word carries hidden layers of memory and emotion, but emotion itself might not even exist for another kind of mind. The meaning problem becomes more philosophical than technical. It asks us to face our own limitations. If a message came from a civilization millions of years ahead of us, it could contain concepts beyond our comprehension, ideas we don't even have the vocabulary for. Some scientists compare it to showing a smartphone to a Neanderthal. The device isn't just advanced, it's meaningless without the context to use it. So how do we begin to understand something that's not meant for us? Perhaps we don't. Perhaps understanding comes later. Maybe the message was never intended to be translated at all. Maybe it's an introduction, a kind of cosmic signature, a way of saying we exist, without assuming we could ever fully grasp more than that. But there's another possibility, one that chills even the most rational minds. What if the message isn't a greeting? What if it's a warning? Or worse, what if it's a test? The zoo hypothesis suggests that intelligent civilizations might be silently watching less advanced ones, waiting for the moment they're capable of understanding. If the signal is that moment, then decoding it might not open a door. It might open an invitation we're not ready to answer. Our future in the galactic conversation. So what happens next? What do we do when we finally understand that we're not the only voice in the dark? The scientists who study the signal know it will take generations to fully decode. They compare it to deciphering human DNA. It took decades just to map our own code. Now we face one written by something not human at all. But even the process changes us. Every attempt to understand the signal forces us to question what communication really is. Is intelligence defined by logic, by empathy, by the ability to reach beyond your own mind and connect with another? Maybe the code isn't teaching us about them. It's teaching us about ourselves. Some researchers believe that by decoding the alien message, we'll uncover hidden patterns in our own languages, our own biology, even our own consciousness. That maybe all forms of intelligence are connected by the same universal principle, the desire to be understood. Others fear that such knowledge will break us, that learning the truth might reveal how small and fragile our species really is. But perhaps that's the point. Perhaps contact isn't about dominance or discovery, it's about humility. Because in trying to speak with the stars, we're finally learning to listen. Maybe the message isn't saying, "We are here." Maybe it's asking, "Can you hear us yet?" And maybe, just maybe, the real code we've been trying to break isn't theirs. It's ours, the code of what it means to be human. So we keep listening, through the static, through the silence, through the infinite dark, because somewhere out there, in a signal older than memory, a voice may already be waiting. The code is still out there. It listens when we do. And someday, we may finally understand what it's been trying to tell us all along.